Hosted by you/foreign_friend8971. My daughter Anna is 16 years old. She was an accident when I was 24 years old. Anna's mother and I were never together as a couple because it was a one-night stand, but we have maintained a friendly and healthy co-parenting relationship since she was born, and we became good friends. My daughter has been living on another continent for a few years with her mother and stepfather, but she wants to come back because she doesn't feel comfortable there and misses her family and friends. Anna doesn't know their language well, and it's still hard for her to fully learn it, so she feels really lonely there. It's different to speak your native language than to make friends by speaking a foreign language from scratch. I spoke with my daughter's mother, and we thought it was a good idea to let Anna live with me. Her room is now my home office, but I can easily put together a room for her again. We didn't confirm anything because I wanted to talk to my wife about it first. I was sure she would be okay with it since we had literally discussed that possibility before. The problem is that my wife doesn't want it to happen. My wife and Anna have never been close because they only met in person at our wedding when I was able to buy a ticket for my daughter to come. That was the last time I saw my daughter in person too, as plane tickets are too expensive. However, they do talk a little when I make video calls with Anna every day, but not much. Anna also talks to her brother, and he likes her a lot, even though they've only seen each other on video calls. My wife says Anna won't feel comfortable in a house with strangers. I told her we are literally her family, but she disagreed, saying that she and our toddler are not Anna's family because they barely know her in person. It honestly hurts me that she thinks that way, but I understand her point of view. However, our toddler is Anna's brother, and it really annoyed me when she said otherwise because our little one truly loves his sister, even if they only see each other online. I had an argument with my wife about it, and I ended up telling her that my daughter will always come first, because it's true. For me, my children will always come before anyone else, and she knew very well about my daughter when we got married. My wife got angry and said that bringing Anna home would change how we handle things and that she doesn't want to be a stepmother. She mentioned that Anna living with her mother on another continent is not the same as having her here every day. I told her that no one is asking her to be a stepmother because I will take care of Anna as I always have. My daughter used to stay with me for days, even months, and I was the one who took care of her. I'm not going to give my wife all the responsibility because I was a single father for a long time, and I know how to take care of my daughter. I work, I clean, I cook, and I take full care of our son when she works or wants to go out, just as she does for me. We both support each other in raising our son, and I don't understand why so many people are shocked that I take responsibility for my own child. But I told her that if she doesn't respect my daughter's presence in the house and hates it that much, then she has the freedom to stay in a hotel room. I was a big idiot because those words obviously made things worse, and we ended up having a bigger argument. My daughter has every right to live in my house if she wants to, but my wife doesn't want that. I really love my wife, but my biggest focus is to give the best to my children, and I would love to have my princess here after all these years. My wife hasn't been talking to me at all, and she's still very angry. She continues to stand firm in not wanting Anna here, and I know that if this continues, I'll get angry, and we'll end up arguing again. I'm not going to leave my daughter alone either. Edit. My wife always knew that Anna stayed with me several days a week when she was still in the country because I talked to her about it, as well as the possibility of Anna's family returning to the country if things went wrong. That would have meant Anna coming back to live with me for many days or even months, just like she always did. My daughter also used to come to my house every day. My wife agreed with this years ago when we discussed it, but now admits that she thought my daughter would stay out of the country with her mother because their business is doing really well. Update 12 days later. First of all, I want to clarify that I am from a third world country. Here, it's really expensive to get a plane ticket, and if I travel, I would have to do it with my wife and our son as well, which is way too much money that we simply cannot afford. I let my daughter's mother take her to another country because, like any father, I want her to have better life opportunities. I don't think that makes me a bad father, but I guess those who have always lived in privilege might not understand. The last time I could afford tickets was for my daughter to attend the wedding. Not all of us have the privilege of paying for a plane flight. I've been thinking a lot, and in fact, I'm the jerk because of the way I treated my wife. Even though most of the comments agreed with me, I don't think it was right to say those things to the woman I love, even though I was angry. I apologized to her for what I said and the way I said it, but I also told her that I don't like it when she ignores me and gives me the cold shoulder when I try to talk about our issues. The fact that she denied the bond between our son and daughter was just cruel. She apologized for that and said she was angry and said things she regrets. I made it clear to her that Anna is coming because no one can forbid any of my children from living with me. Not only morally, but legally, I am fully obligated to provide a home for both my daughter and son. She tried to argue, but I asked her how she would feel if we divorced and my new girlfriend refused to let our son live with me, just because she didn't sign up for it. I asked her if she would respect a man who abandons his children for a woman more than a man who cares about his children, and if she would feel secure knowing she's married to someone who could abandon his kids that easily. My wife said no, that she obviously knows how much I care about our children and hates the kind of men who abandon their kids. She said she knew she wanted to have a child with me because she saw how, even though my daughter was so far away, I made video calls to her every day, and we always help each other with things around the house. Then I asked her why she rejects the idea of my daughter being here, and she admitted to being jealous of Anna. This is something I had noticed in the past. For example, for one of my daughter's birthdays, I sent money to her mother to buy her a dress that was quite expensive, and my wife just said, "I guess you'll buy our son something just as expensive." It was my mistake to let those comments pass and think they were just a weird joke. She said she doesn't want my daughter to come and take time away from our son. That bothered me, so I told her that if we had 2 children, my time would also be divided, and as a father, I can give the same attention to both. Changing our routine doesn't have to be a negative thing, and she knows Anna isn't a problem teenager. We talked a lot, and I explained to her that I just want to make everything work for both of us. I apologized if I made her feel bad with the way I treated her and told her that I really want to hear what's bothering her so we can understand each other better. We agreed to have better dialogue and communication about these kinds of things. My wife admitted that her jealousy is wrong and that she feels embarrassed about it, but it's how she feels, and she feels awful for feeling that way. I told her that while those feelings aren't right, being jealous of my daughter isn't right either, and that it would be okay to start seeing a psychologist if we want to fix this. I'm not going to let my daughter live in a place where she doesn't feel loved. After talking about it a lot these past few days, my wife accepted that she needs to work on herself because she doesn't like feeling that way about a little girl and knows it's wrong. My wife and daughter have always had a polite relationship. When I make video calls with Anna, my wife usually talks a little, but not much. I think my mistake was not encouraging my wife to make video calls with Anna on her own, like Anna does with my toddler sometimes. My daughter really likes my wife and calls her auntie, even though they don't know each other that well, so I don't want Anna to know how my wife really feels. I suggested to my wife that she could learn to play the same video game I play with Anna so they can bond and get to know each other better. I know Anna would love that. They both have a lot of the same interests. My wife accepted and said she loves me and wants to try it, for me and for our toddler. If I leave my wife, I would be breaking my son's home, and he's my baby too. The last thing I want is to let adult matters affect him. I don't want to do that, and I love my wife. I want this to work, and I'm committed to doing my part. However, I made it clear that if she ever treats my daughter badly, I will end things. She understood and promised me she would work on this. I haven't confirmed anything to Anna's mother about when our daughter will come since I need to get her room ready first, and I want my wife and Anna to get to know each other better. After talking with my psychologist, he advised that it's best to bring them closer little by little before Anna comes to live with us. Over the last 4 days, my wife and Anna have been talking longer. I mentioned to Anna that we could teach my wife how to play the game with us, and Anna feels really comfortable talking with her. They even started chatting about random things, and I feel a bit left out because I don't understand some of what they're discussing, but I'm really glad to see that they have things to talk about and are connecting. I suppose a lot of people will call me an idiot for not divorcing my wife, since that was what most of the comments suggested. But it's not as simple as, yeah, we argued, so let's get divorced and have 50-50 custody. Personally, I think it's been better for us to have a mature conversation rather than just jumping to divorce. Seeing that my wife has opened up and is trying to work things out, I prefer to give this a second chance and hope that, with time, she can see my daughter as her friend or even as family, if she allows herself to. People have said, your wife is going to treat your daughter badly, but no one can predict the future. I can work to make sure that doesn't happen. In the meantime, I'm choosing to stay positive, as my wife has never behaved badly toward my daughter. Anna knows that if she ever feels uncomfortable, she can talk to her mom, stepdad, or me, just as we've always taught her. She also has a sharp tongue, so I doubt she'll stay quiet if my wife makes any comments that bother her. I'm not going to force them to be best friends. I want their relationship to develop naturally. And I definitely won't use my daughter as a free babysitter, as some commenters suggested. Both she and her brother are welcome to live in this house for as long as they want. Second update 1.5 months later. The relationship between my daughter and my wife is going really well. They've been making video calls to watch some series they both enjoy, and they've even developed inside jokes that I don't understand, but I think that's a good thing. Although, to be honest, I feel a little left out now, just joking. My wife has been seeing a psychologist, and I've been going too, so we can both improve together, to work on her insecurities and feelings, especially her jealousy toward Anna. She knows it's not good to feel that way. A few weeks ago, she talked to my daughter about her feelings and apologized. My daughter was surprised to hear how my wife had been feeling but accepted the apology and told her she understands. I left them alone to talk privately that day, and since then, they've grown closer. My wife said my daughter told her that she'll always respect someone who is sincere and wants to be a better person. In the previous post, many people said I decided to bring my daughter without talking to my wife first, but that's literally what I did. I never confirmed anything to my daughter's mother until I had spoken with my wife, and just to clarify, I was never in a relationship with my daughter's mother. Many comments referred to her as my ex-wife, but we were never together. The conversation about bringing my daughter back was put on pause because I wanted my wife and daughter to get to know each other better before we all lived together. But now, my wife has started talking about how she wants to decorate the bedroom and rejected all my ideas because she said they're too boring for a girl. So, she's been having fun redecorating the room with our toddler, who's really excited to finally see his sister in person. We still haven't set a date for Anna to come because her mother needs to sort out some issues with her high school first. I also need to make sure everything is prepared here. But things are going well, step by step. Third update 2.5 months later. Hello, I just wanted to share one final update before deleting this account since I don't see the point of keeping it anymore. My daughter has been living with us for a few weeks now, and things are going really well. My wife and Anna get along, and her little brother absolutely adores her. He's thrilled to finally spend time with her in person, and it's been great having her home. My wife has been working hard on herself, and I've noticed a lot of positive changes. Her relationship with my daughter is going smoothly. I especially noticed this when we went to pick Anna up at the airport. My wife was genuinely excited to see her, after months of watching movies together online. She's no longer jealous of my daughter, and while it's still a process, I can see that she's making a real effort. All in all, things are looking up, and I'm happy with the progress we've made as a family. Thanks to everyone who offered advice and helped me reflect on everything. My daughter hasn't started school here yet, so she'll have to wait until next year. We decided to bring her now, though, since the tickets will be much more expensive in a few months. It was actually my wife who suggested that, saying she felt ready to spend time with Anna in person. I was really happy to hear her say that. I didn't expect her to already feel prepared to take that step. My daughter lived in a country in Asia. Although it was a beautiful and safe place, it was very difficult for her to adapt, and bullying there is a serious issue, especially since she struggled with the language. She obviously misses her mom sometimes, but they text a lot, and I try to spend as much time as I can with her so she doesn't feel too lonely or miss her mom and stepfather too much. I've also been taking her to visit our relatives, and she's met my wife's family as well. In general, I can tell that my daughter feels happy here. She's told me how much she missed her grandparents, uncles, and cousins, and the whole family is thrilled to have her back. My wife and I are doing great. I've also been working on myself by going to therapy, and now we talk openly whenever something is bothering us or if we have any concerns. I think the key has been learning to communicate, even about difficult or dark thoughts. I know my wife is a good person, and like everyone, she has insecurities. But she's a good person because she works on improving herself, and I'm doing the same. I love her, and I know she's a good mother who wouldn't treat my daughter badly. I really enjoy taking care of our children, cooking, cleaning, and spending time with them. Sometimes it's hard to realize my daughter is old enough to do all those things herself now, but in my eyes, she's still small, just like her brother. Anyway, I'm sorry if this is a boring update, and I know many people expected me to divorce my wife. But this is how things have turned out, and fortunately, we're starting to solve our problems. My wife and daughter now have a friendly relationship, and as long as they're happy, I'm happy too.